Well, hello and welcome. Today I'll be playing a visual novel of all things. You probably didn't expect this. I don't usually record myself playing visual novels. I do like visual novels, so yeah, I have a lot of visual novels that I have on Steam. But it's the first time I'm recording myself play one. And I'm playing this ASMR for one reason, and one reason only. Because I heard it's short and I heard it's bad. So I was just like, why not play it? And that's why we're here. Let's begin. I'll try to read the stuff out loud so you don't have to read it. The sound of our steps, combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal, is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Also, I'm not like a native English speaker, so if I say something wrong or weirdly or with a weird accent, please don't be mean or ignore it. Whatever, it's cool. Let's continue. Our flashlights are the only things that light up our way. At times like this, one begs not to run out of battery. Yeah, we walk without knowing what we are really looking for, or better said, for no reason. What? I'm confused. We are just a group of boys bored with our lives, trying to create a lasting memory on this night, instead of just staying home doing nothing. Today is October 31, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. Three young men walk through a dark but up until now nothing special forest, me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Seeing it like that, no one could say this is a meaningless effort. Let me save first. Make a save, alright? Meaningless, yeah. For a moment I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. Feel like normal? Why not just... The grammar feels weird, I don't know. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. Okay, what is the what is the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return. I should tell them. Okay. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Suddenly a cold chill ran through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from 1 second to the other. What? I'm confused. So much so, my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with rotten smell, just a little short from being unbearable. Okay. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. We all stop at that moment. Axel, what's happening? I act confused while turning to look at my friends. So my name is Axel, okay. By the expressions on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. Okay, that was a bit loud. Where are the settings? Let's turn that down a bit. That was really loud. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless, like statues, without making a noise. just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. What was happening? So they don't have names, they're just friends, okay. As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belong to a human, or at least to a large animal, but there is something strange about them. It sounds as if the person walked dragging one foot. Don't think about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. Okay, I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. A strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing, it's looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friend seemed unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal. Some of them convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief. However, bad luck would soon strike us again. I'm pretty confused. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just a blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but of our flashlights, which went out. Only one mine was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Akonom asked one of them, scared, while they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in darkness was not pleasant for anyone, but after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard, but the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I can't remember anything of this forest. We could be walking in circles and I would never notice it until it's too late. Okay, thus far I don't like the visual novel. I don't know. It's pretty boring. I don't know how to explain that. I just don't like it up to now. Alright, let's continue. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. ... Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footstep of someone or something. Once more, the three of us become statues, waiting the persons to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. I said wrong again, fuck me. Damn! Get away from here and leave us alone! Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer this time. They do not disappear, but rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere, looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping for the lights to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing. Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. Quickly, I point to the same place, only to discover it was gone. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. While they were thinking, I aimed the light toward that place. A lot of dots. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. Oh, just a cat. It's a white cat with the eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. It's just a cat. I like cats. I think cats are cute. I have a cat. It's here somewhere in my room, I think, but it's just a cat. I won't be so spooked. Her look is not the friendliest to say something. Let's just say something. Okay, I the grammar here doesn't feel right. Whatever. Somehow I get the feeling it's a female cat. I mean, it's hard to tell unless you get a look at the genitals, but it's hard to tell if it's a male or female cat because they pretty much look the same. Suddenly she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It's a cat, dude! A cat, okay? It sounds more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. Well, it's a pretty big cat then. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. Then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us three. A lot of dots. I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. So the cat used some kind of weird magical powers. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what's going to happen with me. That was a pretty mini cat interlude before night falls. That's a pretty shit font. It's hard to read. Okay, so we're being knocked out by a magical cat. It's a day like any other. So normal that it was almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least it seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. Remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me you will be the wait. My mother once painted red my face. What? Painted red my face? That's fucking shit grammar. Fucking hell. But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was the tomato man. I mean, Tomato Man sounds pretty good actually. But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. Dots. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Expect perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. Okay. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. What? How little exciting that might... What is with this grammar? Oh god. Now I know why people didn't like this. It's the fucking grammar, dude. Fuck. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco, and I doubt guys would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be to go to a party, meet girls and have fun. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Totally. Hey Axel, let's have a couple of matches. What do you say? My friend, Steven, caught my attention while playing with the game console. Rushed, I believe that's what the game is called, a fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel in the mood today. Okay, good grammar. I have no desire to play now. I reply with a discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring! There is no rival from me, Steven said with confidence. That's you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. Okay, I said Lynn today. Change to my other friend. Um, I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, dunning for a second. He's sitting behind a PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he is in Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something from... Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? Excuse me. I'm not dying. I asked with discouragement without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He's one of those pseudo-intellectuals always looking for anywhere information to appear smarter than the others. When we figure our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them, he added later. What are you talking about? This world is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughed mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place, Alfred said while adjusting his glass in an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed it was not Wikipedia but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little, Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Fuck. Both Steven and I moved closer to read it. Well, what does it say? Town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire Country, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. Okay. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol but was still sober. At least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. Okay. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter a forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces which were laying deep inside the forest. Apparently, he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is, we don't know what happened then. The track suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace, or a piece of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were in, that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in the air, with all his clothes in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and became earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. No evidence of any kind. We couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while official there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sort of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end, they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise, I found 4 more. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there's more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility of that there is a killer or a kidnapper behind this. And that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. And worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. As then I discovered that what has seemed to be a simple and boring forest had a great story. It was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest. The place was called Witchwood. The word witch has a huge similarity with witch, true. Taking into consideration that it's an old name and the language changes over time, that indicates that it was the forest of witches. Apparently more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all of the information is already lost. They were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot take something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the first to make it look like it was something supernatural. That was fucking long. They could have shortened that bit. They could have just said that people disappeared when they walked in. They didn't need to give me a fucking history lesson. Jesus. Oh, whatever. Let's continue. Interesting story. I don't know that such a story was hiding in this town. I said honestly surprised, even if it is a lie. It managed to hold my interest. Wait, there is something more. As I said, at the same time, you scroll through the comments. We read what is written there. A couple of comments call our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At that time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. Well, the two comments are great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. ... I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls. What? Replied Steven as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly, yes. He admitted it. That was a secret everybody silently knew. Well. Now we have an activity for tonight. Steven said at the same time. He made his face all with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were killing time. Simple. Let's go to that forest. Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he had just heard. You only need to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course. It would be a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence. Perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No. Why should I be afraid? Answered Alfred. At the same time, he folded his arms, making a full gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you are afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. What about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly, Stephen asks me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he used. I will never give you that, I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We're going to the forest, Steven said, full of energy. Yeah! We three said in unison. Fuck, I don't know. Whatever. As if we were going to have some kind of private party. Not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. 2:13 a.m. Okay, cool. We're back at the forest. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My head hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I come back to my senses. A flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately picked it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remembered that Stephen and Alfred were with me. Stephen? Alfred? Can you hear me? He was probably a bit, I don't know. Without thinking, I screamed their names in the dark while trying to find them with my flashlight, but there is no trace of them. They are gone. Where the hell are they? And what the heck has happened? I really don't understand anything. Shit. We should have stayed at home. This is not a proof of courage. We could be in danger. I have to find them. So the cat forsake us? I guess the cat is the reason the people disappeared, so now the evil cat teleported us somewhere. Maybe to some kind of dark hell? Maybe? Wait. Let me save again. I don't wanna lose my saves. What's with this music? Okay. I don't know. The music is the basic free to use music that I hear a lot. Time has passed since I started to look for my friends, and I already can't stand this place. You know what? Let's put the music down. I don't like the music. I'm going crazy in this forest. The darkness that covers it is unnatural. Whatever. It is a darkness that steals your own sanity blended with an anxiety. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold, as in winter, carrying a strong, rot smell. As if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. The atmosphere in this place is oppressive. With every step you take, it makes you more uncomfortable. Since I started to look for my friends, I felt that something is watching me, but there is nothing. I sigh with my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I couldn't go devoid of any hope. I continue walking, devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. I cannot even hear the sound of animals. Rather, it seems they are already dead and rotting. No, I have to calm myself, I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathed deeply, but the rotten air of this place does me no good. Immediately I started to cough, as if I had something stuck in the throat. Okay, shit. What am I going to do? This scourge forest seems endless. And even if by miracle I could escape, I could abandon Steve and Alfred. I'm really screwed up. Again, I sigh, feeling on the verge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall into despair, then there's no doubt I will be joining the list of missing persons. In the end, I decide to keep walking, step by step. I should get somewhere. At least I was convinced that staying in the same place would not do me any good. Even if it was only to deceive myself, feeling that I am doing something, and I wanted to continue walking. Time passes without any changes. Only sound of my footsteps can be heard. Knowing that as soon as you stop, you'll be surrounded by a dead silence. It's a good incentive to keep walking, but my legs were already hurting. Suddenly, I hear a crack in my feet. Instantly, I take a step back and look below to see what made that sound. What is this? I said to myself, surprised, discovering that I had stepped on an animal bone. But that is from an animal, although I do not rule out the possibility that it belongs to a person. But for my own good, I prefer not to think about that. An expression of anguish is drawn on my face. It is best to ignore it. I have to keep walking. Suddenly, my flashlight reveals something. Without hesitation, I point towards there again. ... Oh, it's a cute cat. I realized with the surprise that is the white cat. Yeah, it's the white cat is dead. The one from before, which made that awful meow. But this time, I find it lying on the ground. It appears to be fated and is wounded. Then what should I do? Ignore the cat, pick her up. I mean, it's a cute cat. And it brought us here, right? We should just, pick her up. Maybe she can bring us back. Yeah, pick her up. It's best to continue without waking her. The cat is dangerous. It is her fault that I ended up in this place and my friends are missing. Even knowing that, for some strange reason, I can't help but feel sorry for her. Even if it's unnatural, it is still an animal. I then bend down to see her closer. She is unconscious and there's a thin line of blood coming from her mouth. I'm a real idiot, I said to myself. At the same time, I cleaned the blood from her mouth with a handkerchief that I had with me. Fortunately, she doesn't wake up. I then close her mouth, making her appearance a little better. Now she seemed to be peacefully sleeping. After a long sigh, I decided to pick her up carefully. I don't know what the power of this cat are, but if she brought me here, maybe she can return me to my world. How does he know he's in a different world right now? He doesn't know that. He could have just blacked out in the forest. He's making assumptions. He might not be in a different world. This might be the same world he was in before. Just saying. With her in my arms, I decide that the best thing I can do is to continue walking. 2:31 a.m. Uh, I think this visual novel thus far is pretty boring. I mean, I don't like it. I think it's horrible. I think it sucks. I mean, if you do like it, whatever. I'm not, you know, I'm not judging you. Better save again. Yeah, there we go. Again, I found myself in the dark forest, walking aimlessly, only moving forward, but it didn't seem I was getting somewhere. In my arms, I carried a cat, which sleeps soundly. Come here. Here you'll be safe, our voice. I suddenly stopped. It was probably easy to see the disbelief on my face at that moment. It's that voice again. I whispered to myself with no one to listen to me. Shortly after I found the cat, a mysterious voice appeared in my mind. It is a feminine voice, soft and gentle, as if it belonged to a princess from a fairy tale, but I can't trust it. I'm really going crazy, or is this forest that doesn't make any sense? I don't know, but I don't like any of the two options. I then feel the cat moving in my arms. I look down at her, confused, just to see how she opened her red eyes suddenly. Okay, dot dot dot. I become quiet at that instant. For a moment, the two stayed motionless, staring into the eyes of the other. Wouldn't it be better to say each other? I don't know, whatever. The red eyes of the cat are disturbing to me, but also there is something fascinating about them. Something that attracts me. I lose myself in her eyes as if hypnotized, until suddenly she jumps with the intention of scratching my face. That's pretty mean. Ouch. My left leg is pushing her at the same time. I jump back, turn my head to dodge her claws. I meant to dodge her attack, but in the process I dropped my flashlight. I panic and act clumsily. The flashlight falls near me, lighting up a tree in the vicinity. As soon as it left my hand, I remember how dense this abnormal darkness is. I quickly pick it up, not even thinking before taking action. Okay. I then light the place where the cat was, only to discover she had arched her body angrily, as if she feared an attack from me. Those red eyes stare at me, shining with the light of the flashlight as if they were jewels, reflecting a fearsome hatred and rejection towards me. My body freezes after seeing them. I can't even think. The cat then lets out a thunderous meow, similar to the one before but weaker, although not any less frightening. There is no doubt there is something wrong with that animal. It must be cursed. Everything is her fault. She must be some kind of evil spirit, a pet of the witches. I feel how panic seizes me. My heart beats quickly, begging me to do something. My mouth is dry and my forehead covered with cold sweat. What should I do? Escape from the cat or confront the cat? It's a cat. Confront it. You know, it might still be able to help us, so we really need to, keep her close by. No, I should not despair. Okay, I have to calm down and think carefully about what I should do. With that in mind, I take a breath deep. What? It's supposed to be a deep breath, and look again at her. Soon the expression in my eyes changed from fear to courage. It's a cat, dude. It's a cat. I realize it's only a cat, without a doubt, strange one. But my life is not actually in danger. Yeah, it's a cat. It can't kill you, right? That isn't a tiger sending me, but a simple cat. Apparently, her only power are those weird meows. If she could kill me, she would have already done it. So I rule out that possibility. Her work must be transporting next victims to this area of the forest. So unnatural and shady. After filling my lungs with air, I slowly walked towards the cat. Her meows get loud with every step, but I don't let them scare me. Seeing that I do not turn back, she slightly takes a step back. Okay. In my mind, I smile at that image. The prey is now the hunter. I'll cut her gently while advancing. Little by little, her meows become weaker as she was losing strength. Okay. Dot dot dot. Then I suddenly jump and take her in my hands. She hardly resists at all. Not so tough now, right? You look better like this. She's trembling in my hands. She looks so helpless that I almost feel like a villain. But I must not forget all that she has done so far. It's her fault that I'm in this place. She brought me here. Then if I kill her, would it be possible to go back? For a moment that grim idea crossed my mind. I had never killed an animal. Truth is, I can't be proud of myself in doing such a thing. If I do, maybe this legend could end here and now. Then what should I do? Just keep her captured. Okay, I'm not going to kill a cat. Never. I love cats. They're the cutest things ever. I will never hurt a cat. Alright? It's official. Not hurting cats. Just keep her captured. It is only logical that the magic should die along with the cat. That should be my ticket back. If I kill her, everything would be over tonight and the legend would come to an end. Confident that it's for the best, I should review in my mind. But no matter how hard I force myself to see it, then I am unable to take the life for another living being. Even if it's just a cursed cat serving a witch. I don't feel good killing her. I think I'm too nice for my own good. So the only thing that remains is to keep her with me, hoping that sooner or later she allows me to escape. With nothing more to think about, I decide the best thing to do is to continue my path. Okay, whatever. It's been a few minutes since I captured the cat. Again, I find myself walking with her in my arms, led by the strange voice. How long have I been walking in this forest? Apparently not enough to make me go mad, but it should be close. Don't be afraid. Come with me. I will help you. The voice sounds closer this time. It seems that I am going in the right direction. I don't fully trust in it, but it's the best I have. At least at first glance, it seems a friendly voice. It seems like a friendly voice would be better. Fuck, the grammar in this game is horrible. How long have we been playing? 49 minutes. Alright, I think it's time to take a break, you know? I hope you liked what you saw thus far, hopefully. I'll play this again later and stuff like that. Alright, so yeah. See you later, guys. Bye bye.